I figured I should finally create a video dealing with CNC router, at least one of the many things that I do with it. And I make these knobs for shop projects. Now I have a joiner stand, a mobile joiner stand, and these are the height adjuster bolts that go in the base. Here, I like that one to go there. And so when the wheels are retracted, when that's lifted up, it can rest on the base. But if the floor is not level, then the joiner's not level. So you can use these to adjust the level. And so I figure, why not put those star knobs on it, and also I can show you how to do it. If you guys want, I'll do a more detailed video on how I did this. But I have a standard knob size. Here's the perimeter. And then this inside, which has the special dog bone cutouts to allow for the corners of the nut and for it to be, you know, actually milled out with a round cutter. And then this is the separate spacer that goes on the bottom with a hole in the middle, except it looks a little bit different than that one because this bolt is a larger size than what this is made for. Quickly going through the tool paths here. The first one is just the inside where the hex bolt is. The second one does a profile around those. Actually, I need to fix that. You can just reorder things here. So I want to do this inside cut before I do the outside cuts. So that one's first. And now finally the perimeter cut. And then we can go to the 3D view. I'll recalculate everything. Yes, it cuts through, everything calculated correctly. Although that is not correct. So I go up to the pocket here and go to edit passes, clear all passes. Okay, calculate. There, boom, 1. And then I do have ramp plunge moves on because I found out that I can't, yes, right there, you see there's a little bit of burning, and also that's where it let out. So I added a lead in and a lead out and a ramp plunge so that it doesn't just burn its way down through. So that works out for that. Calculate, close. So now reset preview, turn on the toolpaths, and then preview all toolpaths. Alright, let me do that again so you guys can see. Okay, very good. Now I just go up here, save toolpath. I have to actually select the toolpaths, save toolpaths, and then I have a USB drive here that has all of these things in here, and this is going to be joiner stand knob. Okay, saved it. Okay. Give it a moment to finish transferring and forcefully eject. Now I go over here, plug it into the computer. There we are. Figured it out. Keyboard. Oh, there it is. So I gotta wake up the computer. And this monitor is very old and it takes a while to brighten up because it has a normal fluorescent tube in it. Alright, so here I'm going clear. Hit the O key to open, and here's the joiner stand knob, and that's what that looks like. Okay, everything there looks correct. Let's see, the machine's already on from the last time I was cutting these out yesterday, and I haven't actually shut it off, so it should still be good. And that goes in the center of that knob, and it's a little 2-inch knob, so it shouldn't take too much room. The height is already set, but now I have to set the X and the Y, so I can hit the X here and then function Whoops. Go back. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Function end. And it's really just the end key, but this keyboard you have to hit function to get that separate functionality. And so that brings up the zeroing for said axis. So that's X is zeroed. I still have to do Y, so I hit Y here, and then function end, or I could just actually hit the touch off button right there. So now that's X and Y are in the right spot. Let's go back to where that is and clear the screen. So that's going to go there. And you see the dimensions on the side. Also, this is Linux CNC, by the way. And it's covered in dust because everything's here is dusty. That's just the way it is. Got all our ducks in a row? I think so. Okay, let's turn it on. And then I'm going to hit run, which is just the R key. And I'm going to... These keys here adjust the rapid. So I'm probably going to go to like 4 to make sure it's not doing something stupid. And then I'll ramp up to 0, which is 100%, which is, in this case, 35 inches per minute at a full depth of cut. Just pushing that back out of the way. So this did have the little, you can see it's, come on, focus. You can see the little tabs there on either side. Where it was attached, and those are the 3D tabs. So the machine doesn't actually stop when it ramps, so you don't see any marks at the edge of the tabs. And then this one, again, there's no tabs, and it's just pretty much held in by the sawdust. I hope that's deep enough. So here we go back over to our... And I just stepped on a pen and crushed it. Go back over to our knob here, put that in there, and then this will get glued down over it. There we go. And now this, once I glue it together, can go in here. And I'll give this a quick touch up with the random orbit sander. Okay. So that's a real quick video on the CNC router that I use with some quick jobs. I have other jobs that I have done. I can do more than just little shop furniture things. So I can do V carving. Some of you may know that reference. You can do other cool things like this is a cat with the claws there, and then this is a dog. Those are just clear finish. And do other things like this welcome sign. Although this one, I had problems with the CNC router previously. It would stop in the middle of a job, and I didn't realize that this was actually incomplete because it stopped almost at the end. but I had fixed that in the machine. I had a debounce setting that I had to turn up the amount of debounce time from like 5 milliseconds to 20 milliseconds, I think. And that solved the problem where it was stopping because it kept hitting the limit switches. And it would think it would hit the limit switch and then stop in the middle of a program. So then I'd have to either rerun the program from start or edit the program and finish it. And sometimes it might only go 30 seconds before cutting out, or 5 minutes. It's very irritating. Let's see, this is IP intellectual property stuff, so I can't show you that. It's just I don't want to get demonetized. Here's one where I don't know why I cut it off there. Maybe it's because this one wasn't as good as this one, and this one was the finished one, and it was just so close. I'm pretty sure that's why it was. Here's another reference. This isn't really intellectual property. Kind of is, but not really. Mostly because I selected all of this artwork myself. And this isn't actually used in that TV show. But make sure that your stock size is the right size in the software. So I kind of scrapped this just because it wasn't tall enough. Here is a single line. So that's somewhat interesting. You can also do address signs like this. I think some of these I can also, on the back of this, yes. You can also do keyholes really easy with that machine. Just set the center of the keyhole, put the keyhole bit in, set the height, and run it. You can also do signs like this. I made a sign similar to this, but with numbers in the clock face. And I actually sold that one already. So that's just a small example of some of the stuff that I have done with this. This is a Probotics Comet, which is commonly referred to as like a 2-foot by 2-foot machine, but it'll actually do like 26 inches by 25 inches if you adjust all the stops all the way to the limits, to the point where you're not just barely not bottoming out the screws. They're not ball screws, they're just normal Acme thread screws, and then it has fully supported round rails. So it's like halfway between V-rollers and belts and ball screws and profile rails. It's halfway between the two. And this is the spindle that I put on it. It originally came with a Bosch Colt. I think it's down. So it originally came with that on a really flexible mount. And oops, I don't know why that is coming out. And I designed and 3D printed this mount. And it works fantastic. And this is for a Makita 701 router. So this size is 25 by 25 approximately. And the software that I'm using on my computer is VCarve Desktop, which is most of the features of VCarve Pro, but limited in size to basically this size. So it's a perfect setup for me. The only things it can't do that I can figure out is it can't do any nesting, and it can't do gadgets. So VCarve offers some gadgets that you can do like canned operations, but it doesn't have that in desktop. Kind of wish it did, but whatever. A lot of things that I do, jobs that I do, I actually just set it on the table and then I screw it down on the side with these, with like a lever. And I just use these same screws here. And that actually holds down a lot of the stuff. I have some jobs to do for a customer. He supplied me with these. And he wants some sports teams stuff done on these. So I'm performing a service for him, not really selling a product. Again, that's an IP conflict thing, kind of a gray area, but not really. So it's okay. So I got to cut 3 more of these, and I guess I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. And here they are all installed. Obviously, they're just knobs. There's nothing special about that. I don't know what you would expect more out of it. Clearly, when I built this like 4 or 5 years ago, it wasn't the best construction. You can see it. So it rolls like that. Unscrew this all the way. And now it should be able to rest on the 4 adjusters. So make sure that's flush in the bottom. And so the larger knob will spin quite freely on its own, and there's no force at all to just quickly wind that down, and that would lift the machine up. Although originally I had designed this so you could just step on it and then there would be a latch here, but that broke and it's kind of clunky to do, so I just went with this, which is easy enough, you know. Nothing special about this at all. It's a lot more secure if you're moving it. It's not going to suddenly come loose on you like the other one did. That was unfortunate.